Shocking statistics on sexual crimes, love and money in relationships.
And your live advice coming to you on
Game Over.
And welcome back. Welcome back to Game Over. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
That makes me Lisa Stedman.
Thank God.
I know, right? And this is the show online daily, Monday through Friday, that dishes up street smart self-help so you stop misreading signs and go down a one-way street that is the wrong way.
And we don't come soft. We do not come soft.
You just said come soft. Wow, that's early in the show to be talking about that.
That's how we roll, right? And everything will have either a sexual connotation or be really, really positive.
Coming, instead of killing me softly, it's coming me softly. I don't know.
Oh my God, you know what? I'm taking this away from you.
Hey,
I think we're going to start with something that's really
dialing
interesting.
deep,
We are.
dialing deep.
Let's start with the pulse.
Mm-hmm.
So we took a poll, right? 1,300 women. Now, we do a lot of different subjects on the show, right? We get into a lot of dating red flags, and we talk about some soft things.
And sometimes it's really fun and light.
This time is not.
Deep, people. So
after interacting with a lot of people, right? Both Lisa and I have really strong fan bases and readers, and
hi everyone.
I started noticing a really troubling trend. There were a lot of people writing in about the issues from their past, either relationships, family of origin, all these things, all about sex crimes, things that have happened.
So can you define sex crimes? Because when I hear sex crimes, I think of like police dogs and like sirens, but you're not talking about like something that's high profile. You're talking about everyday like rape?
I'm talking about rape, date rape, sexual assault, molestation.
Okay.
Either,
so
family of origin.
Right, so any unsolicited, non-permission based sex.
Right, and I'll get to the...
And sexual acts.
And sexual acts that are not welcomed.
Right, okay,
at any age.
Right.
So what I wanted, based on these kind of startling trends that I saw with people writing in, I asked 1,300 women, have you or someone you know been the victim of a sex crime, defined as molestation, rape, date rape, sexual assault? Out of 1,300, 953 said yes. That is 73%.
And what's that compared to like a national or international average?
National, the statistic is 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 women have been the victim at some point in their life.
Right.
Of some type of sex crime.
I gotta breathe for a minute, and I think the thing I also want to wonder is 953 were honest about it.
Well, right, and that doesn't include the women who were like, I can't answer this, it just goes too deep.
But like, that's a startling statistic right there, so I'm thinking about the numbers who don't talk about it because it's too painful, it's too difficult, it's too shameful, and I'm glad we're talking about it because we really want to shine a light on this is not your fault, so let's talk about this.
Well, I'm shocked for a variety of reasons, and producer Fionna and I were talking about this right before we went on air. And what shocks me is, is this control? Is this availability? Is this now more prevalent because we have more communication about it? More things equal sexual assault today? Like there wasn't date rape 200 years ago.
Right.
So, there was, but it wasn't framed up that way.
It wasn't called that way, and if you were dating, I guess you were just supposed to let him? Was that the logic?
That was the expectation.
Well, we also had chastity belts, so they couldn't get in there.
Well, right.
So... what is this about? And so we're not going to I don't know that we're ever going to uncover fully why this happens, but so can we talk for a minute about what it means for women's self-esteem, self-worth, and also their love future? If they're carrying around shame or blame about this, or secrets.
Yeah, well, and I also want to talk about, so let's start with that.
Yeah.
So for me, what I've seen is that so many people go internally, and I've read some of the studies, and it becomes like their fault. Whether it was their this is disgusting, but whether it's their father who did something to them when they were a kid, or
Brother,
they were in
uncle.
college or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
something happened
They
to
were
them on
drunk.
campus. There's
Even
all
if they
this
weren't
stuff.
drunk, they were roofied.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and so they end up blaming themselves. I ended up available. I ended up doing
I
these
did
things.
something wrong. I got myself in the wrong situation. I must have sent the wrong signal. It must be my fault.
See, but then you start sounding like Jodie Foster in The Accused, right? Where
That was a good movie.
well, yeah, but it's not. It wasn't her fault because she was dressed promiscuously.
No.
Because you're wearing a short skirt doesn't mean that your body is available for invasion, right?
Amen.
It just doesn't make sense, and that's where I want to go to the second piece, which is what the fuck is wrong with men's mentality? Where
What the fuck is wrong with you men? Just the
Yeah.
ones who are doing this, not the other ones who respect women, but the ones who do this.
And to the guys who like to write in and be like, "Oh, men are victim of these crimes too," shut up. Like, don't do that, okay? Don't
That's
do
not
that.
what we're talking about today. And so here's another distinction I want to make is men, and this is a tough one for me because men who have committed these acts, it doesn't make them bad men, and I so struggle to even say that. But like maybe it was something they did once and now they're a much better human being, but it still happens.
Fuck that. No, I'm sorry.
Like,
It does make those men evil. They should be burned and shot and killed and put someplace else.
So like
I'm sorry.
game over on all of them.
Completely. Like taken out of the gene pool. I'm sorry. You're just fucking done. Anybody who can do
I
that.
appreciate the male perspective on that, don't you, ladies? Because
No,
I'm perplexed about that.
Anybody who can do that to another human being needs to just be taken off the planet.
I agree with that.
I can't even watch
Lack
movies
of
with rape scenes, right?
Lack of respect.
Yeah, totally. Because it's not like you hurt somebody and like you cheated or you hid money or whatever the things that we're going to get into here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the truth of it is that you have violated another human being's like body, right? Like you've been someplace that you don't belong.
And that's, and so men and women are equal, but let's be real, like ladies, we're the ones that let someone in. No, I mean, if in a gay relationship, men let someone in, but in a heterosexual relationship, we're really talking about women are the ones who let somebody in.
Right.
So it's a different dynamic, and I feel like there's already like a power exchange there in a way. So when it's non-permission based, someone's entering, it's such a violation, and these scars last forever. I've worked with women, I've talked to women, I hear from women who they just can't get over this.
And I read a report from a guy who was a serial date raper, and he was anonymous, and we'll put this out on the Game Over fan page at facebook.com/thegameovershow. It was on Reddit, and he was anonymous, and he broke down what he did, why he did it, what he got out of it, and how he's now in a successful relationship, and his wife does not know, and he has no calling to do that anymore. It's fucking chilling, okay? And I'll put it out.
Please post that, because I gotta read that. I need to understand this, and I think we as women need to understand it. If nothing else, to look out for warning signs.
You won't understand it, but
No.
it's a fascinating / disgusting look at someone who allowed themselves to just kind of come clean anonymously, you pussy. Anonymously. Yeah, totally. And
I wonder if he ever did this with his wife.
I don't think so. Not according to his article. But we'll put it out there. It was on Reddit, and we'll put it up on the Game Over fan page. Anyway, some chilling data. Interesting to start the show with. I think we should, before I commit suicide right here.
Well, okay, before we move on, let me just say, if you want to share an experience and you need to get it out there, like you're like, oh my god, this is triggering something for me, email us. If it becomes something that's that's highly emotional and highly triggered for you, please seek professional help.
Definitely. And if you need referrals for that, you can email us at thegameovertvshow@gmail.com or at facebook.com/thegameovershow. Hit message, and we'll be right back we'll be right back to you to get you some referrals on help.
Yeah, so let's shift gears and go to He Said, She Said.
So, hot topic.
Trigger happy, hot, like, ooh, lots of triggers, minefields, bombs everywhere, exploding.
One of the most common fights in relationships?
Money.
Money. So start this off. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in a relationship.
I'm married.
You're married, and as we both are.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have any children.
No children.
And you have a prenup.
I have a prenup.
And you guys.
I'm an anomaly, you guys.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, so there's like two schools of thought, right?
I insisted on the prenup. That's why I'm saying I'm an anomaly. I talked to so many women who were like, that means he doesn't love me. I'm like, fuck it. I have property. He has property. We are adults. We didn't get married till our mid-30s. Hell yeah, prenup.
But you're a career woman, right? I mean, there's a couple of different types of people. There's career men and stay-at-home dads. There's career women and stay-at-home moms. So I wanted to separate them out.
Okay.
And we don't have to put you on the couch, even though she's on the couch, right?
I'm on the couch, people. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I think money brings up so much emotion for people and so much emotion in relationships.
Right. No, and it does, right? Because money equals power.
It equals power, but it's also it's family of origin. Like if I grew up and every day my parents fought about money, still do. Like one's a spender, one's a saver, one thinks we're always broke, one thinks they're made of money.
Right.
And so the fights that go on a daily basis around that, and now it's not even fights, they just agree not to talk about it, and it is so trigger-ish that every relationship I've ever been in, money has been a topic of conversation. I've been with men who were horrible with money, deeply in debt. I've been with men who were really good at money, and I'm just fascinated by the different dynamics, especially when one of you works and the other one doesn't.
Well, let's say that to the end.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, so I'm going to put her on the couch, right? Sorry. So,
here, bring it.
Are you a big believer in 50-50?
Well, 50-50 is interesting, right? Because 50-50, so first of all, I'm a big believer in couples making it work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, in my relationship, I don't think it's 50-50. My husband's always contributed more because I was building a business. Now we make about equal, but I also have more business expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So if it were 50-50, it would still be unequal because what I'd be putting out every month would be more than what he puts out every month. We've found what works for us.
Right.
But it's been a period, so here's where it comes at communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, this year when my niece came to live with us, I was paying for the nanny. And I was like, she's not even my kid, what's up? But it made sense based on where our financial obligations were.
So
and
it's not just strict 50-50.
I don't believe in strict 50-50 because it doesn't factor in what each of you has in terms of bills if you pay separate bills. Like I'm a big believer in always having your own money. I plan to stay with my husband forever.
Right.
And we joke that if he leaves me, I'm coming with him. But the truth is, you never know. And I think women especially should always have their own money so they don't ever feel victim or out of power in a relationship.
Now, how does that work with a stay-at-home mom then? I'll give you an example. Well, right. I mean, so to your point, each relationship starts with its own original agreement and set of dynamics, right? But there's a ton of men, and I won't talk about the people that I know because it's a little too close to family of origin, but so you end up with a relationship where you have a stay-at-home mom and a guy who's working, or reverse that, right?
Yeah.
And we'll take
so
the common scenario.
One is working, one is not.
One is working, one is not. But the person who's working says, this is my money.
Ouch.
It's my money, right? And I will decide how it's dispersed and how things are running. So what does that mean?
Women should have their money.
But if they're not working,
I know.
You know, so she's a living concubine. Like, how does that work?
Did they agree to that up front?
They may not have agreed about the money. It kind of fell in, right?
Okay.
So you end up
Did
in
she used to work?
A common situation. Not only this one that I'm referencing, but she had her own career when they met, right?
Yeah.
A career-ish something.
Okay.
Maybe it was something that she was just starting. Maybe it's a career that she has full blown.
Yeah.
But then kids come in, and you and I have talked about this. Like, marriage isn't real till you have children. Okay?
Totally agree.
But then kids come in, and now you have a choice. Is it a nanny? Is it a stay-at-home mom situation? And
you got to figure all that shit out.
Well, and if she decides to want to stay at home with her kids, now the money situation goes like this.
Yeah.
So it may not have been something that they talk about at the beginning of the relationship.
But you have to. If she's not working and he's working and he's saying the money is mine, that is a massive power struggle going on.
But he may not have said that at the beginning. You know, it ends up there.
But he's saying it now.
Well, so now what?
So now what is you got to renegotiate?
But you're already married. There's 2 kids. They're now 3 and 6.
Well, I'm sorry,
say.
but if it's not working, you gotta. you have to have the difficult conversations. It's so hard sometimes to talk about money. You have to be willing to have these difficult conversations because the dynamic does change. What if one of you loses a job? What if one of you decides to stay home? What if one of you incurs debt? Whatever it is, you've got to be willing to talk about it because it's never going to get any better if it's swept under the rug.
No doubt, but you're bringing up a good point. In a lot of these situations where you end up with two wage earners that have separate bank accounts, 50-50-ish relationship, what happens if somebody becomes unemployed for a period of time in today's economy?
Yeah, and I actually hear from a lot of people on this, both men and women, whose spouse hasn't worked for over a year because of the economy, and they're like, I'm tired of footing the bill.
Right.
But you know, the reality is you get into a relationship, typically for better or worse, and if one of you isn't working, that pretty much means the other one's going to have to pick up the slack.
So it is still a partnership, even though 50-50 may not exist for whatever period of time.
I think it's a partnership, and I think it's a constant negotiation.
Constant
You've got to stay in constant communication about it.
Communication, not negotiation?
No, I think it's both. I think it's both because
new bills come in, right?
Yeah, new bills come in. Like, so now that the baby's gone and I'm not paying for the nanny, it's like, well, now I have more money at my disposal, and the Hubs has more business expenses because he's building a business. So we are renegotiating what the split looks like, and I think that's important because your life is going to ebb and flow. Kids, private school, college, cars, debt, all of it.
Right.
You've got to factor it all in. I want to ask you, because you are the sole breadwinner.
I'm on the couch. Yeah, I'm the sole breadwinner in my relationship.
Has that ever bothered you?
No. I have a different mentality though.
Okay.
So a lot of men attribute I definitely feel, especially in today's economy, like it kind of assigns a man's worth. Meaning
I know, right?
it has no choice, right? Because you're paid what the company or what what your client or however you're working, right? They pay you what you're worth, so you equate that to your own self-esteem.
Yes, ladies, ever dated a broke man? Low self-esteem.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But that's one part of the equation. What comes later, at least for me, is how that money is then dispersed. So let's throw out a random number. You make $1,000 a month, which is way too low. We're just not going to get into specifics. So you make $1,000 a month. That's one part, right? But how that gets distributed is a separate thing that happens behind it.
So would you be the one who was handling that? Would your wife? Would you both?
We've gone back and forth.
Okay.
There's been times where she owns all the bills and I've been on an allowance. That way we even things out.
Yeah.
There's been times where I own all the bills because I have a ton of business expenses that are going out, and she would never be able to keep track of it. It's a friggin' nightmare.
It's a nightmare when you work for yourself.
So I end up owning it.
I like the idea of the allowance. We have a budget. We have a weekly budget. And this has been the best way for us because we are different spenders and savers. So like my parents, my mom always wanted a budget. My dad refused. So my mom's like, fine, I'll spend all the money then. Well, that didn't really work, even though they're still happily married.
Well, you bring up something good, and that's financial infidelity. You know, where somebody goes off and does something.
Common and scary.
Well, and the three of us were talking about this, Lisa, me, producer Fionna. Everybody has been a cheater, right?
Totally.
Like, you know, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, you know, nothing. How much was that dinner? $50? And you pull out like a 4-digit number, right? Like it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you deal with something like that?
Again, you have to be willing to say anything and everything in a relationship. I really believe that. You've got to say the things that are so uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to come clean. Because if you're hiding this, it's not long before you're going to start hiding, I think, other things. If you start getting really good at hiding your money situation, it's going to be really easy to get good at hiding other things. I think it's a slippery slope, and I think when you can't be on
Your tango.
Your tango! We love you!
I love how you clap for our sponsors.
I'm
awesome.
such a freaking dorky cheerleader. Yes! Keeping the lights on.
Your Tango is a great place. I mean, we talk about a number of relationship issues here, and Lisa and I certainly have our opinions and our expertise that we bring to bear. But Your Tango has a stable of experts, in which we are included, right? So head over to yourtango.com, and if you missed a piece of this show due to the sound issues, let us know on the fan page, facebook.com/thegameovershow. And we'll do the next one as the artist, right? We're doing artist interpretive dance here.
We can do it, people. We can
let's talk about solutions for financial issues.
Yes.
Should you want to start?
Go for it.
So, we brought up a lot of these things like what happens later when you have kids, what happens when somebody else loses a job. Like these are the kind of questions I think people need to be asking. Earlier in the relationship rather than later. No, not on date one, right?
Not on date one, but what I think is so important is we all have our own beliefs about money. And they're typically very different from our partners. Sometimes we really match up, but sometimes they're different. So instead of having a silent agreement about what you're going to do with your money or how you're going to relate to money, have a conversation, say it out loud, talk about your fears, talk about your goals, talk about your long-term and short-term goals, your vision, communicate. And if you feel like you're getting off track, ask for accountability. If you feel like they're getting off track, hold them accountable.
And one of the things that might help is one of the things that might help is really to sit down and do the bills together. Every month, right? That way, I mean, especially when you have a sole breadwinner in the house, or if everybody's counting on each other to pay certain bills. God forbid something happens to your spouse, like you should know what's happening financially.
Yes, you should know what's happening financially, and I mean, this is not going to go away. So having a plan in place and talking, I can't. I am saying the same thing over and over, so I'm going to shut up.
No, communicate.
For once.
Write this date down.
I'm going to clap for that.
So if you have some other tips, head over to facebook.com/thegameovershow and leave your tips on the fan page. A lot of people would love to know.
He said tips.
Everything has a sexual connotation. The back half of every show, we offer...
back half.
Oh my God.
This is time. I'm clapping again for live love advice.
And we're back. We're live.
That's Lisa Stedman. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
Why do you have to sound like a douche? Do I really sound like that? Damn.
No, this is Charles.
Hi. In the second half of every show, we offer street smart love advice.
That's how they switched it from back to second.
If you have a question, head over to facebook.com/thegameovershow. Click the little message button and we will get it here.
And thank you for being so brave and bold to send us your questions, because I know sometimes it can feel really scary to be put on the spot, but you're asking for street smart love advice. We are dishing it up. We're not soft and gentle a lot of the time, but we do actually care about your feelings.
Oh, no, we really do. But to Lisa's point, and she says this a lot, like, we can't inspire change by being, that's so terrible, like we feel so bad for you. You should
Good
really
luck with that.
No. Like we're gonna give it to you straight.
Here's the deal. Let's go.
And producer Fiona's laughing at us because we're just
she knows it's true.
So I'm gonna take the first one.
Go for it.
And we always keep you anonymous, so this goes out to a woman. So my partner of 2 years and I have had issues for a while, but recently I was going through his bank statements and found an unusual charge. Dun dun dun. Which later I found out to be a brothel.
What? Do they still have those?
I confronted him about it. Keep in mind, like, of course they have them. They're located at... Never mind. So, I confronted...
Is Lice still there? I think she's raising birds in Las Vegas.
They were together for 2 years, though. Oh my God, really? They were together for 2 years. She confronted him about it, and he went on this whole, like, I was there for a massage, and you're crazy, it's all in your head.
Ending.
And then he deleted her, blocked her number, and it ended.
I'm assuming deleted her online, not like physically deleted her.
Well, she wrote in.
Okay.
So she's still around.
Okay. Thank God,
But her question is what alarms me. So, total douche, you're fired, like, you're a piece of garbage.
Bullshit nastiness.
Her question is, am I at fault for him going to someone else?
Oh, Fuck no.
No.
I tried to sugarcoat that one. Fuck no.
But I would say two things, right? So the first is, like, I will echo Lisa. No. And I'll say it in Spanish. No. Okay? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. He cheated and he's cheated.
He didn't even cheat. He like freaking went to a brothel that's so douchey and dirty and nasty.
And here's the shitty part. This is the second thing, right? Go get tested.
I know, I was thinking that. This pisses me off. Dudes, wrap it up if you're gonna cheat, but if you go to a brothel, you're guaranteed to pick up something. I don't know.
Right, come on, man. There's a bunch of creepy crawlies. What are you doing? Sorry. Yuck.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
please
God.
go get tested and take care of yourself. But game over, it's not your fault.
Do you want me to read for you, or do you want to read?
Oh, Charles is gonna read for me. Read for me, Charles.
Dear Lisa.
Who's this from?
Honey, this is from Jay.
Hi, Jay.
The love of my life is in the military.
Okay.
Now wrap your head there.
Yeah,
but we're about to like move someplace else. The next month he deploys to Afghanistan for a year.
Oh wow.
We were
Were?
together for 3 years.
Okay.
But because of his past mistakes, the trust wasn't there. 2 months ago I gave up.
Past mistakes? Are we hearing from? Okay, go on. 2 months ago I gave up.
Right. And then a month later, he got married.
Did we have the exact same Okay, I've been here. Holy shit, I've been here, Jay. I
Deja
thought I was
vu
the only one.
all over again, right? He needed someone. That's what he said. He's scared of what his deployment may cause. He needed me to be his rock, and I left him. So then a month later, he got married because, what? So he begged me back, and then...
Even though he's married?
Even though he's married.
Okay.
She's still in love with him, and she just couldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
And now he's married, and he cares for her.
Yeah.
And he still loves Jay very much. And I know he's better off with a fresh start, but how can I move on? Now, you are the breakup queen. Not that you're the queen of breakup knowledge. Whoa.
I have a whole lot to say about this. First of all, Jay had this exact same experience when I was 20. My boyfriend, who was in the military, called him one day, I kid you not, and he's like, yeah, I'm getting married in 6 months.
So why did you write into us here?
What? What? So first of all, game over on just the freaking woman hopping of this bullshit. I have some feelings about this. I am not over it.
Don't hold back. You just express yourself.
That is absolutely unacceptable, number one. Number two, Jay, I get that your heart is broken. I get that this is traumatic. I get that you still love him. And I get that he may still have feelings for you. He's married to somebody else, and you get that. So the question is...
How can I be happy for him without selfish thoughts wishing I was her? How can I move on?
Well, first of all, you can't be happy for him. This is just a bullshit scenario that no one should be happy for. Why would you want to be happy for him? He freaking like left and now is with like... Or, you know, you ended.
Well, and for me, she says here that the trust wasn't there, which is why they split up in the first place. Right.
There's some other issues. He's in the military, too. Lots of stuff happening for me right now. So I think the key here is you don't have to be happy for them, honey. No.
I don't think so either. And here's where I come out. Like, if he wanted to be with you, he would.
It's that easy.
It's really that simple, right? He wouldn't have gotten married after a month. He would just be with you.
Yeah, but the fact that we don't know what his past mistakes are and the fact that you mentioned that, you kind of dropped that bomb, tells me that there was some other issues. It's time to move on. It is a breakup, not a breakdown, so work on you, heal your heart, feel the pain. You're not going to get over the pain without feeling it. You got to feel and deal so you can heal. I can't believe I just said that. And hey, here's what I want to do for you. I want to send you a copy of my book, It's a Breakup, Not a Breakdown. It's my gift to you. So please email us back and give us your address, and I'll mail you out a copy.
Same thread, Jay. I was the one who responded to you on my fan page about advice this morning, so please get back to us and
yeah, I'll be happy to send you a copy of the book.
We are almost out of time, but we're going to take one more, and I know that I contacted L and D also about their advice, but
can we do that tomorrow?
We'll do that tomorrow on tomorrow's show. This is from L, and this is a man, so you know who you are.
Hi, L.
He met his girlfriend 2 years ago when she was going through a rough time in her then relationship. And didn't do anything with her. Then they broke up, and Elle and this girl started dating. But she still had feelings for her ex. Went back to her ex. They broke up again for the what? Same reasons. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't end there. After Elle and she got back together, now they have a daughter together.
Okay, Elle and the girl.
And this girl is now exhibiting a whole bunch of negative stuff.
Like?
If he doesn't agree with everything that she says, he's not supportive. He's always told that he doesn't do anything for her. Doesn't do anything for the daughter.
Him wrong.
Ridiculed. She tells him clearly that showing love is about buying gifts. It's over.
Game over! What the F? Gold digger bitch!
His question was, should I
Sorry.
continue? Well, now they have a daughter and he's concerned.
Do not teach their daughter to be a gold digging bitch. Gold
Absolutely.
digging bitches give women a bad name.
Done. And that's where I came out, right? Never stay in a
Sorry.
relationship for a child. You give the exact example of what a failed relationship looks like. So I know you don't want to be a part-time dad. I know you don't want
I'm sorry
parental
about that.
separation, and that sucks.
Bogus.
But bullshit, and I call total game over. You're worth more, man. From your email, and we cut this a little bit short here, but from your email, I see that you're a really quality guy, right?
And there are women who will not take advantage of you. There are women who will appreciate that and not tell you that gifts are the way to show love. F that, game over. I'm pissed off and fired up.
Absolutely. Get rid of this man. Move on to your own sense of happiness, right? This lady is going to do nothing but drag you down, and here's the other part. This lady will eventually leave you.
For someone who buys her bigger gifts.
So you can stay
Game over.
in, and she will never love you the way you want to be loved, man. So move on. Move on. To the others, we will get to you tomorrow.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here. This has been Game Over. This is Lisa Stedman.
This is Charles J. Orlando. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.